Do you ever take the time to reflect and look back at your catalog? Like, we're talking again, stretching across genres, countries, generational. Like, it's just so much that you've done across so many different divides. Do you ever reflect on that stuff?
Well, one, I get the chance to because, like, I mean, for better or worse, like I've been nominated for the Songwriter Hall of Fame 3 times, never got in. So I'm like always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
It's
Don't want to
coming.
be in.
It's
Don't want to be
coming.
in anymore. Nope, nope, nope. 3 was enough. It was just plenty for me. But it was like, so I spent a lot of time re-enumerating then, and then like now once or twice a year I go to the Country Music Hall of Fame and I do a kind of retrospective there called the Songwriters Corner, and kind of call it my State of the Union. And I sort of talk about, I play like 3 or 4 songs from the current year, and then I play 3 or 4 songs from the past, and kind of talk about how they make sense,
Yeah.
and they how they weave together. And then I get to do shows like this, and so yes, and in fact, that's the most beautiful thing, is that if I hadn't written these songs with Moss, then I don't think I would have the license to talk about him as much. I think that most people would be like, enough about your awesome dead husband,
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, because we wrote Blue on Black, wait, what? I'm not going to mention that I wrote it with my awesome husband who's not on the planet anymore. And so I get to talk about him like that, and I get to tell stories. And so I get to spend time reflecting, but I also have to be really careful of that, because that reflection then is that. And then now, as soon as that's over, I'm back on the Puget Sound getting ready to write a song tomorrow with Operation Song, and
Mm-hmm.
very much, future forward.
Yeah, you got to leave that where it belongs, and
Yeah,
live in the now too, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It has to be now. It's like, if I just think about, I mean, I've had to work so hard at, yeah, not being in the past, to tell
Well,
you the
one of the
truth.
first things you said in this interview was not resting on your laurels. So,
No,
and I know that's important. So, let's chat a little bit more about "I Hope You Dance." Not the song at this point, but you have other forms of media that this idea has taken shape for you. You're a best-selling author because of this song.
not
You've got a children's book because of this song.
nuts.
Talk about the evolution of that, going from this giant iconic global hit to, like, I'm going to write a book about this, and now I'm going to teach the kids about this too.
One of the coolest things about getting the opportunity to write this book was that we actually weren't given the opportunity to write the book. This publishing company came to us, and they said, we'd like to hire someone to write a book on I Hope You Dance. And I was like, no, 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 no.
Yeah,
I'm in, but you give us first chance. You give us first chance.
yeah,
You come on. If we can do this, we can do that.
yeah.
And so it was me and Mark Sanders, and Mark D was going through an incredibly dark period. He has always battled with depression and mental uh, imbalance. And this is like, public knowledge, so I'm not saying anything that he would be hiding back. And his medicine that he was taking at the time, Effixor, which had done an amazing job keeping him balanced, had stopped working.
Mm.
And so he was literally in a fetal position, some nights. This is like after winning a Grammy and having hits, and we had another hit on the charts, and I mean, all these amazing things were happening. And so that was happening to him. And my mother, my fabulous mother, had just got diagnosed with cancer. And so that was going on with me. And we were not in the right, we were not in our normal places with our normal good skin. We
Yeah.
had the thinnest skin. We had the most thin, transparent. We were the biggest, most vulnerable hearts.
Perhaps
And
not the best time to be writing something with the word hope in it, right?
yes,
Yeah.
but we were able to do that because we really were writing it for ourselves.
Right.
And we were writing it for, it's like, my mom said the most awesome thing to me when I Hope You Dance was becoming a hit. She said, Tia, if this song becomes the hit I think it's going to be, you can never be a bitch.
Yep.
You never can. You can never drive a car with tinted windows. You can never have, a posse. You can never become a cocaine addict. You can
Oh
never go
man.
to rehab. You can never kill yourself. You can never do any of these things because you will negate I Hope You Dance. It's
Yep.
like the artist can do those things because other artists will sing the song that's going to become an iconic song. Artists can have personal tragedies. But as the writers, you're going to have to
Wow. No
be a
pressure.
really sweet person. I was like, Mama. But I kind of channeled that in that book, and then it was just nuts because that book became a massively big hit, New York Times bestseller list. It was so nuts because it and the Bible were the two most
Yeah.
stolen books of the year.
Crazy.
I mean, come on. I Hope You Dance and the Bible, we were the most stolen books of the year. That's just awesome.
That's not on your Wikipedia anywhere.
I need to find. It was in the New York Times article, and I was like, I need to find that article. Will you help me remember that? I need to
Sure.
find that article,
Yeah.
and I want to put that as a link in my Wikipedia page. You're right. That's just too much fun.
Yeah.
But so that, and then the children's book was just this chance to be, I really, really, really wanted to have a child at that moment in my life. And, I was, getting ready to get married. I was, I was just incredibly, that was like 6 months later, 9 months later, my mom would have just died. I was really very much a child myself, with grief and with sweetness and, all those things like that. And so I was, wow, it was just an amazing experience. And then I went on, full disclosure, and I don't think I've ever told this to anybody, but I went on and wrote, from that point on, I wrote a whole body of short stories and I wrote a novel, none of them ever published, but it really unleashed this, one, it ended up being this grief therapy thing for me.
Yeah.
While in my mom's death, because I also, once again, was not really capable then. That was the first time I wasn't really capable of writing, collaborating with someone and putting on a happy face, but I was able to work and write these novels and short stories.
I love
So
that. Just such cool stuff. I want to mention a couple of songs that don't get a lot of look from you. Some of my favorites that I just want people out there to kind of search for if you guys don't know them already. One is called Barbed Wire and Roses by Pin Monkey, which I absolutely love that song. It should have been much bigger, in my opinion.
I got scars from what you done. I'll
Yeah.
show them to you, baby, one by one. Yeah.
Love it. The other one was I Cry by Tammy Cochran.
I cry a little bit every day.
It's just
And
such
this one
great
is about
tunes.
song. Yeah.
I just wanted to thank you for writing those. They're great songs, and that's why I love having folks like Tia on the show, because sure, Blue on Black and I Hope You Dance are going to be probably the songs you're forever going to be known for, but there's dozens of songs that you wrote that don't have the notoriety of those songs that you should also be known for.
Well, and the thing is that we have to remember is in any one year, I mean, if you go back like to the sounds of the 70s, the sounds of the 60s, the sounds of the 80s, the 90s, any of these years, it's like in any one year, there's only 10 or 12 songs that really stick.
Right.
Right? There were hundreds and hundreds of singles.
Well, there's
but in
only
any
one Song of the Year Grammy winner, right? So.
Well, that's true. But even the Song of the Year Grammy winners don't necessarily stick.
I agree.
You know what I mean? You can go back and look at the last 30 years of Song of the Years, and you might struggle to sing a handful of them,
Right. Yep.
So,
but we're always going to have, Standing Beside the Ocean. And
yeah.
people are going to know that line.
Standing Beside the Puget Sound.
And I love that you're right there by the Puget Sound,
I'm
yes.
seriously, is this only audio, or are they going to see
No,
it?
it's both. They're going to see everything.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah.
We're going to get comments about that hummingbird earlier, I promise you. It's going to be good.